Kentucky lost 94-78, and this is just once again telling us that Mark Pope isn't going to be the long-term coach at the University of Kentucky. In the Auburn game, there was never a point in the game in which Kentucky looked like they were going to win. There was never a point in the game when Kentucky looked like our guys were as good as theirs. And every single form and facet of that basketball game, we got outmatched. Our team just isn't that talented this year. And now that Jackson Robinson's out for the entire year, there's just now this gloom around the program like, oh no, we're cooked. But to be honest, we were kind of cooked before that. Teams like Auburn and other SEC teams, other Big Ten teams, are way more talented than we are. The issue with that is that we had to go to the transfer portal to get so many guys this year. But next year, we're also going to have to go to the transfer portal again. So, what's going to change between this year and next year? Mark Pope's scheme and his recruiting knowledge or whatever it is that Mark Pope's recruiting game plan is to get older guys from the transfer portal. And I think that this tells us that that doesn't work. These older guys just aren't as talented. They came from smaller programs. They had good, not great careers. But even those guys aren't as good as the stars that we've seen come through the University of Kentucky. The University of Kentucky has an elite requirement for what our basketball players look like. So saying that these guys on our team now aren't Kentucky basketball players isn't being mean to them. It's literally saying, hey, you're not a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You're not a De'Aaron Fox. You're not a Bam Adebayo. You're not Karl Towns, which is fine. Those guys are Kentucky legends. But we would be lying if we looked at ourselves and said, hey, these guys on our team, Colin Chandler, is going to be a Kentucky legend. He's not. Amari Williams, Jackson Robinson, Kobe Bryant, they're not. They're mid major basketball players who just so happen to get lucky enough to get a shot to play for Kentucky this year. And so, what we need to change is moving on into next year, we need to recruit more freshmen, or we need to get better guys out of the transfer portal. What are we doing in terms of recruiting? All I've heard is that Kentucky signed 3 players, and 2 of them literally are from Lexington, Kentucky. So we didn't go out and do some great recruiting practice. We got 2 guys who go to high school within 30 minutes of the university. That's not a that's not impressive. Where are the rest of the 5 stars? Where are the rest of the ball players? Can we get somebody from overseas? Like Duke got the Malaluk guy, Malawach guy. Duke got Malawach from literally nowhere, and he's one of their best players. Can Kentucky do stuff like that? If not, we need to recruit freshmen. Mark Pope is not an elite basketball coach. If you read the articles, Cody Fugger, if you read the articles, Cody Fugger designs the offensive sets. So the offensive sets that we run is not Mark Pope's ball. That's Cody's ball. Those are the sets that Cody has designed for the team. And our defense is literally non-existent. The entire year, defense has been our problem. So I ask myself, okay, so what is Mark Pope doing then? He must be a great motivator. And then ESPN showed his pregame speech and had him mic'd up all day against Auburn yesterday. Mark Pope couldn't motivate me to get off of my couch. Hey guys, keep in the game. We're right there. Just keep playing. Just play good basketball and trust your teammates and keep playing. It's like, what? And then on the other end, you heard Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl said, what's our record? What's their record? We're better than them. It's like, that's the guy I want coaching my basketball team. I want an elite. Bruce Pearl is an elite basketball coach. Give me one of them. Give me a guy who's going to get the team hype, who's going to draw in good sets, who's going to value defense, who's going to be able to recruit. Give me one of them. I don't want a trial coach. I don't want a guy who's coaching our team just because he's from Kentucky. Kentucky fans love Mark Pope because he played at Kentucky and he's a nice guy. And that's fantastic. We can have nice guys from Kentucky who are assistant coaches. We can go out and get an elite coach and make Mark Pope the assistant. That's fine. But Mark Pope is not a head basketball coach at the best program in the entire country. It's just not a fact. Every game this year, we win one, we lose one. We win one, we lose one. And we got blown out at Rupp Arena. If we can't even compete with teams at Rupp Arena, that's a red flag. Rupp Arena should be our house. We should dominate every game in there because we have the best fan base in the world. If we're losing by 16 and 20 points at Rupp Arena, something is off. At the beginning of every game, Kentucky gets up early. We're playing great basketball. And then right before the first TV timeout, Mark Pope subs in Travis Perry, Colin Chandler, or Trent Noah. And it's like those three guys aren't competing at a college level, so the other team automatically goes on a run. And then for the rest of the first half, we're playing from behind. How does he not notice that? But every Kentucky fan on Twitter, every Kentucky fan in the world sees, hey, stop subbing these guys in, or at least stop subbing them in at such a key point in the game. It's killing us. And it's killed us every single game so far this year. We're hurt. We're injured. I don't know what Kentucky's going to do, but I do know that we need to pick our 6 or 7 best players and just play those guys. We don't need to substitute guys in like this is elementary basketball. We don't need to put Colin Chandler in the game just because he hasn't played yet. We don't have to be fair to everybody. This isn't a nice game. We want to win. Right now, it seems like Mark Pope is subbing guys in just to be nice. Oh, hey, Colin, go in there and get 3 minutes. 3 minutes? The other team's just going on a run. Every time Travis Perry subs in the game, the other team literally designs offensive sets that always end in an isolation, and then they attack Travis Perry. It doesn't matter what the set is. At the end of the set, it's going to be Travis Perry one-on-one at some point in the court with another guy, and they score every single time. So he can't play basketball. If you can't defend, you can't play. Mark Pope needs to realize this. We don't just get to play guys and let them go out there and have fun or put them in the game to be fair. If we put guys in the game who can't be on the court, they will get attacked every single possession. Auburn celebrating on the court of Rupp Arena was super immature, but it also shows that they haven't been there before. Auburn is not a great basketball program. They're having a great year, but that's the kind of program that's going to get upset in the tournament. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're that excited to get a win at Rupp against a bad Kentucky team, and you're going in the student section and borrowing somebody's belt, and then you're passing it around to 3 guys to do that weak celebration, I mean, good for you. It's pretty lame, pretty weak, but you've never been there before. So Auburn, I don't blame you. If you've never been there before, you're gonna act immature because that was your Super Bowl. Even when Kentucky's not good, that was your Super Bowl. Bruce Pearl is a great head coach. The team is kind of trash for what they did at the end of the game, but also Kentucky, we shouldn't let teams come on our court at Rupp Arena and do that to us. No team, even if we lose at Rupp, we should lose by less than 5 points, and that should be because we're fouling at the end of the game. We shouldn't lose to 16. We shouldn't lose by 16 to somebody at Rupp Arena. And we were never in the game. From literally first tip, after the first 3 minutes of the game, Kentucky was never in it. And it never looked like we were going to be in it. That's a disgrace. We need to take more pride in our home court. If we're going to lose, let's lose on the road.